Hello friends, I'm Derek and welcome to the channel. Here you will know everything about Bears. The Chicago Bears defensive line has been a surprising bright spot this season, consistently performing above expectations and helping the team remain competitive in a tough NFC. The unit, which was seen as a weak point coming into the year, has been instrumental in keeping the Bears' defense afloat. However, as the team returns from its bye week and prepares for a challenging second half of the season, key decisions must be made. One of the most pressing questions: should the Bears pursue reinforcements before the NFL trade deadline? A potential solution in a big trade for Chicago has emerged. Let's take a look at some moves Ryan Poles should make before the deadline. But first, guys, I have a small request. If you find our content valuable, please consider giving us a like. It's a small gesture that really helps to support us. Thanks for being awesome. Among the potential targets, Cleveland Browns defensive lineman Quinton Jefferson has been mentioned in trade rumors. According to NFL insider Ian Rappaport, Jefferson's name has surfaced in discussions, and the Bears could be one of the teams interested in acquiring him. Jefferson would not only provide additional depth, but also come at a relatively low cost, making him an attractive option for a Bears team looking to bolster its playoff hopes. Quinton Jefferson was selected by the Seattle Seahawks in the 5th round of the 2016 NFL Draft, and while his career trajectory hasn't been that of a star, he's been a valuable asset wherever he's played. At 6 feet 4 inches and 291 pounds, Jefferson brings the size and versatility needed to be a disruptive force along the defensive front. He has the flexibility to play multiple positions across the line, which is one of the key reasons he's so appealing to teams like Chicago. This season, Jefferson has recorded 6 pressures over 87 pass rush attempts, including 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, and 4 hurries. While these numbers don't scream elite production, they need to be viewed in the context of his role in Cleveland's defensive rotation. Jefferson has found himself buried on the depth chart behind standout players like Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, both of whom have taken the bulk of the snaps. However, given the opportunity in Chicago, where depth and flexibility are highly valued, Jefferson could see more playing time and have a greater impact. One key aspect that makes Jefferson attractive is his contract. He's currently playing on a modest deal, making him a low-risk acquisition for a Bears team that is carefully managing its cap space. If the Bears can strike a deal with the Browns, Jefferson could be the perfect addition to fortify a defensive line that has shown promise but still lacks high-end depth. Chicago's general manager, Ryan Poles, is known for being aggressive when it comes to making moves at the trade deadline. Poles has already made significant changes to the roster over the past 2 years, transforming a team that had the worst record in the NFL into one that is on the verge of contention. With the NFL trade deadline looming, Poles is reportedly considering several options to strengthen the team, and Quinton Jefferson could be a key piece. The Bears have reportedly been open to trading players like running back Khalil Herbert and right guard Nate Davis. Packaging one of these players could give Chicago the leverage it needs to acquire Jefferson without giving up significant draft capital. Herbert, for example, has found himself in a diminished role this season as DeAndre Swift has emerged as the Bears' primary running back. Trading Herbert to a team in need of backfield help could create a win-win scenario for both parties. Nate Davis, who has been a steady presence on the Bears' offensive line, could also be used as a trade chip if the right deal comes along. Though Davis has been solid, Chicago has depth at guard with players like Matt Pryor stepping up in recent weeks. This gives Poles the flexibility to explore potential trades without severely weakening the offensive line. While Quinton Jefferson may not have the star power of some other defensive linemen, his career has been marked by consistency and adaptability. After being drafted by the Seahawks, Jefferson carved out a niche for himself as a versatile lineman who could both rush the passer and defend the run. He spent 4 seasons in Seattle before moving on to the Buffalo Bills in 2020, where he played a key role in one of the league's most formidable defenses. In Buffalo, Jefferson posted 23 tackles, 3 sacks, and 14 pressures, contributing to a defense that helped the Bills make a deep playoff run. After his stint with the Bills, Jefferson signed with the Las Vegas Raiders, where he continued to produce at a steady rate. In 2021, Jefferson recorded 47 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and 16 quarterback pressures, proving that he could be a disruptive force in both the pass and run game. Now with the Cleveland Browns, Jefferson has been relegated to a rotational role in a crowded defensive line group. However, the talent is still there, and a move to a team like Chicago, where he could see more playing time, could rejuvenate his career. His experience playing in different defensive schemes, including 4-3 and 3-4 alignments, makes him an ideal fit for the Bears' defense, which values versatility and depth. As the Chicago Bears return from their bye week, they face a pivotal moment in their season. The team has shown tremendous improvement, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, but adding a player like Quinton Jefferson could be the key to taking the next step. Ryan Poles has already shown a willingness to make bold moves, and the upcoming trade deadline presents another opportunity for him to strengthen the roster. Let's check out some other realistic moves before the trade deadline and viable for the Bears. Have you ever found yourself lost in thought while sitting on the couch with nothing to do? The kind of moments where your mind drifts, and suddenly you're contemplating everything from a new hairstyle to whether you could run 4 yards per carry behind an NFL offensive line. While some may label these moments as boredom, they can actually lead to some of the most creative and productive ideas. Imagine your Chicago Bears GM Ryan Poles enjoying a rare moment of calm during the team's bye week. As a leader responsible for the success of a historic franchise, Poles can't afford to ignore any potential opportunities. Even during downtime, Poles is likely reviewing trade possibilities, scouting future stars, and evaluating how to improve his team further. But what if, in the midst of these idle thoughts, he stumbles upon something truly game-changing? Poles, however, is no stranger to big decisions. His track record shows more hits than misses, and Bears fans have come to trust his judgment. Despite a few missteps, Poles' moves have fundamentally transformed the Chicago Bears from a team that once had the worst record in the league into a legitimate contender. Here are 3 potential trades that could significantly impact the Bears season and set them up for success both in the short term and long term. The Bears' offensive line struggled in the early part of the season. Both Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift were hampered by inconsistent blocking, and it showed on the stat sheet. However, recent improvements in the line have allowed the offense to find its rhythm, thanks in part to players like Matt Pryor and Bill Murray stepping up. But there's still room for improvement, especially as the Bears gear up to face tougher competition later in the season. This is where someone like Brandon Scherff comes into play. Scherff, a 5-time Pro Bowler with the Jacksonville Jaguars, would bring both veteran leadership and top-tier talent to an offensive line that's still finding its way. With the Jaguars facing a tough season and Scherff in the final year of his contract, it might be the perfect time for Chicago to make a move. A 5th-round pick could be all it takes to bring Scherff to the Windy City, strengthening the offensive line and giving Williams more time to operate in the pocket. Plus, if things go well, the Bears could look to extend Scherff, ensuring their line stays strong for years to come. Khalil Herbert has shown flashes of brilliance throughout his career with the Bears, but this season has seen DeAndre Swift take over as the team's primary back. Complemented by Roscoe Johnson, Swift has become one of the most effective running backs in the league, leaving Herbert with limited opportunities. Given his reduced role, it might make sense for the Bears to move on from Herbert, especially if they can get something of value in return. The Dallas Cowboys, desperate for help in the backfield, could be the perfect trade partner. With Ezekiel Elliott no longer the player he once was, and Rico Dowdle struggling to produce consistent results, Dallas could benefit from Herbert's no-nonsense running style. He's a player who can hit the hole with authority and maximize every yard available. For the Bears, trading Herbert would clear space in the backfield while adding another valuable draft pick to their arsenal. When it comes to bold moves, Ryan Poles has shown that he's not afraid to part with a 2nd-round pick if it means making his team better. With the Bears' defense already performing well, the addition of a premier pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson could take the unit to the next level. Hendrickson has been a disruptive force for the Bengals, but with Cincinnati underperforming this season, they might be open to dealing him for the right price. Chicago has the draft capital to make a move, including 2 second-round picks in the upcoming draft. Trading their own second-rounder, which is likely to be in the mid-50s, for a proven talent like Hendrickson would be a worthwhile gamble. What do you think about these potential trades for the Bears? Should Ryan Poles take the leap and make these moves? Or is there another strategy you'd recommend? Do you believe the Bears are set for a deep playoff run this season? Leave your expectations in the comments. Let's discuss several points. Remember to support the channel, leave your like, and subscribe. Don't miss any update, news, or insight about the Bears. Always stay ahead. See you soon.